Hey guys, this is David Rauschuber from Craftmade. Today we're going to show you install on our UCI-2000 and also the UCI-2002. They kind of go side by side together because you're just simply adding another controller. So this is what we're going to add. We're going to add it to a standard pull chain fan. So we're going to show you how to install that, how to walk through it. And then also if you want to put it in a clamshell, we're going to show you how to make it a handheld control. And then we're going to show you how to install this into the wall and program it so that it all works together. So hope this helps you out. And so this is the blister pack when you get it. It has all the parts you need inside. So this is the UCI-2002, so it's got 2 transmitters, and then this is the UCI-2000. It's got 1 transmitter. Now that you've got your fan assembled and hung, it's time to install the UCI module. The module is very simple to install. It has a black and white wire, and it matches up with the black and white wire that's in your junction box. At this point, you need to make sure that you've turned off the breaker switch to this junction box. You don't want to have any electrical shocks. And for a point of reference, please make sure to read the installation manuals to be clear on how to do all of your wiring. On the other side of the module, you'll have a black, white, and blue wire. Those correspond with the fan wires to connect to the motor, to the neutral, and to the light kit. So we'll go ahead and install that now. As you can see, the UCI receiver is designed to fit perfectly into the mounting bracket of the ceiling fan. Again, this is an AC motor ceiling fan, so it's designed to fit into that canopy area and into the bracket. So you have the black, white, and blue coming out of the UCI receiver, and you have the black, white, and blue wire coming out of the fan. At this time, we're just going to wire those up to match each finish. So first, once you have the UCI into the bracket, you're going to make your connections with the black and white wire coming out of the junction box. Also, you have a ground wire in there too that you're going to need to make that connection with. Once you make that connection, then you need to tuck the wires back up into the junction box. We recommend that you put the wires in the up position with the wire nut in the up position.
So you can have the ground.
So now that you have your wiring connections made with the black, white, and ground wire coming out of your junction box, you see that they're tucked in. At this time now, we'll put the UCI module and slide it into place. So now we'll go to the other side of the receiver, and we'll start making those connections with the black, white, and blue wire coming out of the receiver to the black, white, and blue wire coming out of the fan. As you can see, we've made all those connections now. So at this point, we're going to just tuck those wires up and put the canopy into place. So now that you got your wires neatly tucked up there, you got the canopy up, put both of your screws in, you're all done on this side of the fan. So now we'll go over to the switches and we'll install it in the wall and do the programming. So in this install, we have a multi-gang box. And one of the pro tips that I would recommend to you is, as you can see, I put a little postie just above the switch that we're going to change out. Sometimes you just get forgetful when you take off the switches and you're messing with the wires. It just helps to remind yourself, hey, this is the one I'm changing out, and it just makes it a little bit simpler on it. So now we're going to go ahead and take the plates off and do the wire install. Okay, so now that you got your plate off, we're going to take the switch out and we're going to install the transmitter. So the transmitter comes with 2 black wires on the back of it. These 2 black wires simply make a power loop from this box to the junction box up at the fan. It does not pull any power to function the controller. So make sure that you put the battery here once you're ready to start doing the programming. And the battery comes in the packet. So I'll show you what that looks like. Also, again, as a safety feature, please make sure that you turn the power off at your junction box before you do this so you don't have any electrical shock. One other neat feature about the controller is it has a dim, no dim function. So if your fan comes with dimmable bulbs or non-dimmable bulbs, this is very important. So you want to put it on no dim if the bulbs are not dimmable. So please read your instruction manuals in your fan and see if your bulbs are dimmable or non-dimmable. And then set this accordingly. So if you want to dim, which we're going to do in this feature because we want full functionality, we'll make sure that the switch is on dim. So you can see here that we've made the two black wire connections. So you have your main power feed coming in from the home and making the loop up to the ceiling fan. So that's it. Simply make these two connections and then we'll tuck everything back into the wall and do the programming. Okay, so now that you got everything back in the box and you got your plate back on, we're going to install the battery and we're going to install the cover plate. So at this time too, you can go ahead and turn your junction box back on, restore power to the transmitter, and then we'll sync it with the fan. So let's just put in the battery and pop that in real quick, and then we'll put the switch plate cover on. And what's nice about this unit, it comes with 3 different colors. So it comes with a black, it comes with an ivory, and it comes with the white. So if you're using all white like we've got here, it really makes it nice and neat. If you're doing black switches or ivory switches, some people still have ivory, it's great that it's there in the box for you so everything looks nice and tidy. So now that we're all set up, out of the box, the transmitter and receiver have a factory already default code in it. So at this point, the fan should function. So when you have the switch in the on mode, go ahead and hit the light button. The light should come on the fan. If it does not come on the fan, go over to the fan, pull the pull chain, and make sure that the switch is on the fan. This happens quite a bit. We get quite a few calls that people say, oh, it's not working, and they don't realize that they haven't turned the power on to the fan. Also at this time, hit the high button, and you should now have the fan going on high. So this again, you know, some people will stop here and not do the unique pairing. That is not a good idea to do. The whole reason for this is so that you can function the fan, make sure it's working, and then you want to do the unique pairing, which we'll do next, to make sure that there's no cross-talking in the house with other fans or anything like that. And when we do the unique pairing, make sure that you're not functioning any other fan in the house because it could be cross-talking. So make sure that you're not doing on or off with the other fans. So what we're going to do next in the next clip is I'm going to hold this on and off button down for roughly about 5 seconds, and what you're going to see is the fan will, the light kit will flash and the fan motor will come on. And that means it has created a unique pairing, and now it has its own code and it won't crosstalk with any other product. Okay, so now that we've got everything set up, we've got the control in, we've got the battery in. On the bottom of the switch is an on and off. So what you want to do during this syncing process is we're going to sync the transmitter to the receiver, and how we do that is we go ahead and turn the switch off for a few seconds so that the power is drained. And then we're going to turn it back on. And when we turn it back on, we want to hold the on-off button within 30 seconds of turning the power back on. Also, something to note here is please do not function any other fans or remote controls in your house at this time, because it's sending a signal from the transmitter to the receiver and we don't want it to get confused. So we're going to go ahead and do that function. And what's going to happen when I turn the power back on and hold the on and off button down for roughly 5 seconds, maybe give or take a little bit more, is you'll see the light on the fan flash. That means it's received its signal. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do that. So we'll do that, turn the power on, wait a couple of seconds, and then we're going to hold it down. Now you see the fan has functioned. You can let go, and everything is now synced properly, and it won't crosstalk with any other fans in the house. So now you can see we turned the light on, everything functions great. We can go ahead and do the dimming process. We can do low, medium, and high. So it's really great. So now your pull chain fan has a remote control and functions with full functionality. So now that you've got all of that done, we have 2 different kits. So we have the UCI-2000 and then we have the UCI-2002. So the 2002 comes with an extra transmitter in what we call our clamshell, and I'll show you what that looks like in just a few minutes. The purpose of that is now that you've got the receiver or transmitter, in the wall, Some people do like to have that functionality of having it in their hand. So they'll set, if they're sitting on the couch or whatever it might be, they like to keep that control by there. So that's why we put a second unit in the box. And also what's good about this too is you can, if you really wanted to and you had a three-way function going on, you could put this theoretically in the wall and create a three-way setup there, because all you're doing, again, like we did last time, is you're going to program this on the same frequency with the transmitter. Actually, it'll send its own personal code to the receiver because the receiver can hold more than one code in there. So, but an important part of putting it into the clamshell is you got to take these wires off, because you got to remember this is just a transmitter, and when we put it in the wall, these wires were used simply to loop the power back to the fan. So they do not work as a power function to send the frequency to the fan. So we're going to pop those off. So just cut them as close as you can. There you go. There you go. So now that that's done and it's nice and clean, we're going to stick it into the clamshell. So this is the clamshell. So this came in your blister pack package, and we showed you that in the beginning of the video, all the different parts. So it's pretty simple. It's got a nice little ergonomic, handheld deal thing for it there. So what you're going to do is you're simply going to set the controller into the clamshell like this, and then you're going to take the top part and you're going to put it over the clamshell, and you just set it over like this, and it goes and pops into place. You'll hear it clip, and now it's inside the clamshell, and we'll go ahead and do the programming part next. So now that you have the transmitter into the clamshell, again, it's important. Again, it uses a battery to send the signal. So you go ahead and pop your battery in there. And like we showed you in the beginning of the video, we have multiple colors. I talked about it a few minutes ago. We have black, white, and ivory. The black obviously is designed to go onto the controller. So go ahead and at this time, pop that on there, and it's nice and clean and neat. And in this configuration, the on and off button at the bottom has no function. So don't worry if it's in the off mode or the on mode. It doesn't affect the transmitter whatsoever sending the signal. What's important here is that you have the battery in, and when you hit the button, you'll see the little red light come on. So now we'll sync it up. Okay, so now that we've got the battery in, we've got the faceplate on, we're going to go ahead and sync the unique code to the fan. But one of the things you want to do is, the fan's functioning, everything's working properly. Come over here, turn the light off, turn the fan off. And this is important, so when you do sync the controller to the fan, you'll see it do it. It'll make the light kit flash, it'll make the fan come on. One of the important things too is you need to kill the power. Just like when we did the functionality on this one or the programming on this one, you turn the power off. So we turn the power off, we're going to wait just a couple of seconds, you don't have to wait very long, and then turn the power back on. So within 30 seconds of turning the power back on to the fan, you want to do the programming on the controller. So it's very simple, just like we did in the wall. We want to hold the off button down for roughly 5 seconds, and you'll see the light will flash. Okay, so the light has flashed. It has sent a unique signal now to the receiver. So now this is uniquely paired. The transmitter's got its own signal. The wall unit has its own signal, and now the remote control has its own signal. So now you can see the light functions just fine. The fan functions just fine. So once that's all done, you'll see that now they're each working just fine. So now you can turn it on and off here, turn it off here, turn it on here. Either way, they're both paired up. So you can go sit this over by your couch, by the side of your bed, wherever you would like. So now when you walk in the room, you can turn it on and off here, or you can turn it on and off here. For some reason, once you've done this setup and you've got everything paired up and it's working fine, you find there's another fan in your house that's functioning, or what we call cross-talking with the transmitter. That's an easy remedy to fix, okay? It does happen from time to time, not very often, but that you can fix that in just a few seconds. So all you got to do is you got to come over here to the power on the fan and go ahead and turn it off. And the reason you're doing that is you're putting it into pairing mode or into a learning mode, basically. So once you've done that, turn the power back on to the unit. You'll see the fan comes back on. And then take one of the two transmitters, hold the on and off button down, This process will take about 10 seconds. And during the process, what will happen is the light kit will flash probably about 3 times. It'll pause, and then it'll flash 2 more times. The whole time you're holding the button down. And what you've done now is you've erased all of the codes in the receiver. Once that's done, then you can go ahead, come back over to the power, turn the power back off, wait another 2 seconds or so, turn the power back on, then come back over to either the handheld and the wall. You'll have to do them both again because they both got to send a unique signal to the fan. Hold your button down for that 5 seconds like we did earlier in the video. You'll see the light kit flash, and you've now sent a new unique signal to the receiver. You'll need to do the same thing on the other unit if you're using both. So it's an easy fix. It's not that hard to do, and you know, just take your time and you'll get it done.